So now we're going to discuss about when somebody actually has a cardiac event. If you come upon somebody who has fallen to the ground or passed out, we have to do an assessment to figure out what is wrong. And our assessment is tapping the person on the shoulder, and if you know their name, you would yell their name. At this point, you want to make sure that 911 has been called. If you check the person and you don't get a response, I like to pinch the back of their arm, just because it's a reflex that people will automatically cringe or react. That's a really painful part of the body, and if you can get any kind of excess skin there, they will flinch if they're semi-conscious. If you pinch the back of their arm and they don't react at all, they're considered unconscious. You're going to check out their chest and see if you see any chest rise, and you're going to scan the body and look for any signs of life. So when we say signs of life, we're looking for chest rise or irregular breathing of any kind. If you see somebody gasping, they take a breath and then they breathe it out a couple of seconds later, and they don't take another breath for a few more seconds, that is not a regular respiration and is not considered adequate breathing. You would at that point scan their body, and when you scan their body, you're looking for any profuse bleeding. Because if you start CPR on somebody and they have profuse bleeding, you would just literally pump the blood out of their body. So we would scan the body, make sure there's no profuse bleeding. If there is, we would take care of that. And then we would go right into our CPR. So CPR, what we do is we are trying to compress the heart between the sternum and the backbone. You press down and it shoots the blood out into the body, up to the brain, and keeps all of the organs viable. When you come up, you need to come up all the way without moving your hands off of it, because we don't want you jumping around. We want you in one position, and when you come up, the heart will fill back up with good blood, and then you press down and it shoots it out again. And that is a full compression, pushing down and coming up so that the heart fills back up. We're going to use the heel of our hand. We're going to put it on the lower part of the sternum. You're going to grasp your fingers, come up over the person, lock your elbows, and you're not using your arms to do this. You are literally pivoting at the waist. So there's no movement of your arms are locked into place. And you are doing this at a rate of about 120 per minute. This will keep the blood going in a regular fashion and keep all of the organs oxygenated. After you've gone through 30 of the compressions, you're going to do respirations or give 2 breaths. Now there's a whole thing out there about not giving oxygen, that not doing the respirations. And you can do no breath or no respiration CPR or compression only CPR, but you need to realize that when you don't give somebody oxygen and you're doing compressions, that body is using the oxygen in that bloodstream. So eventually, probably after about 3 minutes, all the oxygen is going to be depleted from their bloodstream. And if you don't reoxygenate them or give them a breath, their organs are not going to be able to be kept viable, and they will slowly go into cellular death. And that's what happens to people. So if there's any delay in the ambulance or the police getting here where they have oxygen, and you don't give them a respiration, they are definitely going to die after about 3 to 4 minutes. So we always want to try and give a respiration. Obviously, if you hate the idea of putting your mouth on somebody, you don't have to do it. You're not required to, but Critical Mass has in their AED kit an oxygen mask, and it's a breathing barrier. It's similar to this one. It has a one-way valve to it. The mask will pop out. You will put the valve in here. And when you do the respiration, you're going to put the mask between the chin and the lower lip and cover the nose. Then you're going to take your thumb and pinch it off at the chin, and your other hand will make a C and close off over the bridge of the nose. You're then going to tilt the head back, take a breath, and blow twice. Each breath should last no more than a second, and you should do both breaths within 10 seconds. So if you have any issues where you have to readjust the head to get the air in, you should try and get your respirations both in within 10 seconds. I'm going to go through a cycle of CPR, which is 30 compressions and 2 respirations. So the heel of my hand will be on the lower part of the sternum. I'm going to grab my fingers and come up over the victim and my 30 compressions. Whenever you do this, you should count out loud, so if anybody is helping you, they know where you are in the cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And then when you would go back to your 30 compressions again. That is your cycle of 30 compressions and 2 respirations. You would do that until help came, and you would never stop, unless of course the person came back and started showing signs of life.